Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. So for this week's video I'm drawing Ariel from Disney's The Little Mermaid. I'm not drawing her like she actually looks in the movie, but more a like how would Ariel look if she was an anime kind of style. And this is what I came up with. I want to turn this into a series of drawings from all the Disney princesses in manga style. And I'm starting with Ariel, who, by the way, is my favorite Disney princess. I remember when the movie was in the theaters, I was very young and I wanted to watch it, but we did not have a theater in the area where I was living, and my parents had to work, so nobody could drive me to the theater. So I had to wait until it came out in VHS. VHS, for those of you who don't know what that is, are the old cassettes before the DVDs. Yeah, those are very old. Those were like in the 90s. I mean, Ariel came out in 89, I believe. So now let's talk a little bit about her skin. So her skin was very easy to color. First of all, the areas are very small. That's why there were no difficulties with coloring fast before the ink dries and all that stuff. So the colors I'm using are E4x0 and E3x0 and a little bit of E2x0 for the darker shadows. The reason for that is because I wanted her skin to be very light, because Ariel's skin is very light. She's very light skinned, so I didn't want to use darker shades. I used the lighter ones that exist in Copic markers. Now moving on to the hair. Her hair was a little bit of a pain, not because I had difficulties with her hair in particular, like drawing it, but the red is such a difficult color, at least I think so. I have many reds in my Copic marker collection, so it's not that I did not find the correct reds to use. It's more like with red I needed to be extra careful because it does tend to bleed a little bit. So I needed to be very careful, otherwise I would ruin everything. Also, red is a very vibrant color, as you can already tell, so you can see every little mistake. And also, the colors are weird, they're just difficult, they're very different than browns. They are hard to blend and they dry, you can't really make them darker. Later in the video you will see me go in with a colored pencil, mostly for the line work, but I also used the colored pencil in specific areas of her hair. Parts that are a little blotchy, other parts that were not dark enough, and I wanted to make them a bit darker and smoother, because I don't know, red is just so difficult. But on a more positive note, red is gorgeous and the result is just amazing. I really like how the hair turned out. It looks great, so vibrant, so pretty. If you want to know what colors I used for her hair, I used R24, which is prawn, and R27, which is cadmium red. And then I just used a colored pencil. You can use whatever you have that matches those two colors to make some areas a bit darker, and for the line art it does need to be a little bit darker than the markers, otherwise it will not show up. Before I started drawing this picture, I looked at a lot of art for Ariel. There's a lot of things out there. I don't know if she's the most popular Disney princess, but I know she's the most popular in fan art. Maybe it's the Mermaid thing that draws people to do so many drawings of Ariel, because I found a vast collection of drawings. Sexy Ariel, cute Ariel, baby Ariel, anime Ariel, creepy Ariel, and many others. It was amazing. You should Google it. It's very interesting what people came up with. But she's also very pretty. I think she did set the standard for mermaids in general, how they would look, because many of the drawings I saw from other mermaids too, not just Ariel. When you Google mermaid drawing, many of the mermaids resemble Ariel, not in the hair, but more like the fins. They look very similar to her. Of course, I also had to draw that pretty pink flower on her hair that is from the movie, and I have no idea what the name of the flower is. Now, let's move on to the difficulty that I had with her, and that is her fishtail. You will notice in this video that my marker was dry. I actually knew that, but I forgot about it. I also don't have a refiller of this color. I actually wanted to buy one, but because I forgot that it was even dry, I forgot to buy one when I went and bought some refills recently. So as I was coloring, my marker started to dry out on me and I was upset. I was very upset. I tried to go in with a lighter green to save anything that I could save, but I could not save anything. So I went in with the darker one that I wanted to use for the shadowing. I used it where I wanted the shadows to be, and then I took my colored pencil. Yeah, colored pencil to the rescue. So yeah, I used the colored pencil to fix the rest. At the end I managed to correct everything and it turned out okay. Just a little bit darker than I initially wanted. But thank God it's okay. And then I was so scared that I did not want to use another Copic marker because I thought then, oh my god, they're all dry and they're gonna ruin everything. So I just took my colored pencil in a lighter green to do that part there. I have no idea what it's called. And to do the actual fins down there. So I did those with my colored pencils. And they turned out pretty well. I used a lighter green to do the outlines and then a darker green to do the inside of the fin. I do wanted it to be light, like in the movie, but not too bright. So at the end I was pretty happy with my result. I had some mistakes here and there, but I'm also doing this video so you can also see that nobody is perfect, everybody does mistakes, and you learn from your mistakes. And it's okay to do them. So don't be afraid to experiment, to make mistakes. Even if you ruin something, you can always save it. Just keep a colored pencil set close to you and you can save basically everything that you ruin with Copic markers. Okay, if you ruin it too much, then you probably have to redo it. I also did that a lot of times at first. Everything needs practice. The first time I used my Copic markers, I was so scared to actually color in the finished lined drawing because I was like, oh my god, what if I ruin it? What if it turns out blotchy? What if this? What if that? But okay, maybe my first pictures were not that great compared to my later ones, but that's the point. You make mistakes and you learn from them and then you fix them and then you don't do them again. Or you do other mistakes and then you fix those. Everything needs practice. Don't expect to just wake up one day and be this amazing artist who can create everything out of thin air. So before the video is over, I wanted to talk a little bit about the background. So after I was done with coloring in the mermaid, I went on and colored the background. I did not want anything special, so I colored the rock where she's sitting. For that I used my much loved toner grays. Now in Copic markers they are cool grays, warm grays, I think there's another one, and then toner grays. I really love toner grays, those are my favorite ones, and then the cool grays. I don't really like the warm grays. I don't know. I don't even own any of the warm grays because I dislike them. I do like the toner grays though. It's a true gray. And the cool grays are more blue. So the darker one that I have used for the lines that you see here and there, this is from the cooler grays. And you can see it's a bit more blue, bluish, purplish, kind of. The warmer grays are more brown. I don't like them that much. I do like the toner grays because they're true pure gray. Now let's talk about the sea. For the sea, I used a light hand at first and then went in with more layers to make some parts darker in order to mimic the light that shines through, as Ariel was always looking at the light that shines through the sea. If you are wondering why it looks grainy and not smooth, that is because I did this on purpose. The more you layer, the smoother it gets, but I wanted to keep this grainy look because I kind of like it. I do like the texture that colored pencils give. Not always. I don't like it for clothes, for example, but I do like it for backgrounds, for the sea, for the sky. It looks very interesting. You can create some very interesting effects with this one. So I used my Illuminance colored pencils in a blue, or it's actually a greenish blue. And I just use layer after layer. You really have to be patient with colored pencil, and I have zero patience, but whatever. Let's just move on. So you use layer after layer until you get the shade that you want. You don't just go in and press hard on the paper to make it really dark. At least that's what I've found works best. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm using layer after layer to create a more darker shade. Of course, you can also use a blender that many artists use. You can look it up online. You can look other artists how they color with colored pencils. I actually want to get a blender. I think I mentioned that in another video. Yeah, I should get one. I'm interested in how it will look with a blender. I think it makes things easier. And I'm sorry that you can see my head there. But sometimes I need to get closer, especially when I'm close to the flower, because I don't want to make it blue. I want to keep it pink. And I'm very impatient. So this was it for this week's video. We are close to the end of the video. If you like it, please give this video a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already. I hope you had a wonderful Christmas and I wish you a happy new year. And I will see you next week, which is actually January 2nd, so 2017. So have fun and be safe. Bye guys!